everyone, welcome back to my channel Side Hustle Seattle. So today I'm actually going to be doing an interview with Shawn, who I've done an interview with in the past. If you've never seen those videos, I'll post them somewhere on the screen. But we're going to be talking about a question that I've gotten often, which is, what is an apostille and how does it work? To be clear, I have no idea. So I decided to bring in somebody who can actually give you the information that you need. So stay tuned and I hope that you enjoy the interview. Well, Shawn, welcome back to the channel. You always say you won't do another interview, and I always find a way to get you to do another interview. So at this point, I'm not even going to say it.
Keep twisting my arm, so you know.
So I wanted to talk. So there's a question that I get all of the time from people, and I know that you've done it. And so I wanted to get you on here to give essentially a general overview of what it is, and that is, what is an apostille or apostle, or however you pronounce it? It's one of the things I've seen before. I've seen it on other channels. I've seen like stuff from the NNA, and I get a lot of questions, but I have no idea what the freak it is. So I would love for you to just give an overview for me and for any subscribers who are watching this. So first things first, what is it? And second, how do you pronounce it?
Okay, so I hear two different ways. It's a apostille or apostille. It's a French word that means certification. Okay. And what you're doing is basically this has to do with processing documents. And the documents are going to be for foreign countries, or it can be for, the United States. That's probably the essence of what it entails, not, without going into too much detail.
So an apostille is not, is it a noun or is it a verb? Can somebody be an apostille, or is apostilling something?
No, it's a verb. Put it this way: if I come to you and say, "Hey, let me borrow, $500," you don't know me off the street. You're not gonna really mess with me. But if like your cousin says, "Hey, let Shawn borrow $500," trust my word, you can be like, "All right, cool." And then I'm gonna write you an IOU. You're good to go. So that's trust between two people, right? Then you got trust between two states when it comes to notarization, because it's a stamped document that has a notary seal from whatever state it's in. I can transfer to another state. They're going to recognize, oh, it's not from my state, but I trust that this is a notary seal, so I'm good to go. So then the next level is, how do you trust between two countries? And the magic word is apostille.
So in short, an apostille is essentially a notarization from between country and country, if you had to as a way to think about it.
Correct.
All right, so obviously you do them. How long have you been doing apostilles?
I've been doing apostilles for about a year now. And what I will say is it's a good money maker as far as generating income. You have people who do it full time. You have people who it's like another phase. It's like they've been doing loan signing for a year and they kind of want to diversify their notary portfolio, type situation. I know people who break it down to where there's 60% apostille and 40% loan signing, or vice versa. When you first coming in, you can't start that way, but it's that lucrative. It's also a recession-proof business. This is not going anywhere. So
is it something that you would recommend then for like most notaries to do, or is it kind of like to each their own?
To each their own, but I will say this: if you know anything about the real estate wholesale game, you are a perfect fit for the apostille game.
Who can do it? Like, do you have to be a loan signing agent? Do you have to be a notary who can do apostilles?
Surprising, shockingly, when I did my research, anyone can do it. You can do this out of high school, college. You can have your 15-year-old child do it if you're guiding them correctly. Anybody can do it, but it just, all it takes is the proper training. That's all it really takes.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's definitely different from like being a notary or signing agent, where you have to go through these certifications, background checks, through the state, all that. So a very low barrier to entry, it sounds like.
Right, low barrier, but it's detail oriented. You have to get it right the first time if you want to be successful and sustain your business. I'm not saying you don't make mistakes, but I'm saying you can't fumble not even from a, you know how we all notice when you come in as a notary, you're like, okay, go to a signing service, get your feet
making
wet.
mistakes, yeah.
Right, you don't have that luxury when you're in Apostille.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's more of like an independent business. You can't. There's no fallback, essentially.
Right, you got to knock it out the park, or your customer's not going to be satisfied and not coming back. Situation, yeah.
Got you. Okay, so without giving too much away, because we will stay tuned to the end of the video because we will be announcing actual training that Shawn will be doing if you're interested in getting into Apostille work. And so that training will go a lot more in depth into what exactly it is, everything you have to think through, be very thorough. Shawn will walk you through that. But before we get to that and before that training, which will be in the next couple of weeks, what's the general premise? What's the general overview? Okay,
so a basic gist of it would be just like notarized documents that customers have signed. When you're doing apostille, you're processing a document that your customers have signed, but then it has a destination to like it's tied into a foreign country. Again, we're going back to what we originally said. This is trust between two countries, but it's a signed document.
Gotcha. Okay, so this is not like if somebody has a document that then needs to be sent, just like very general overview, then needs to be sent overseas or hold some sort of weight overseas. Then that's kind of where apostille can come into play. Versus like, would you ever do an apostille within the country itself?
No.
No. Okay. So if you have a document, it needs to be processed, has some sort of ties overseas, that's kind of where an apostille would come into place.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just like remote notarization is global, so is apostille.
Apostille is global, but it's not local, essentially. It's like global, but like without the local part,
right,
like it has nothing to do with within the country.
Right. There are local components of it, but that's not the end result.
Gotcha. Okay. And so what's like a realistic expectation for how much somebody can make when doing apostille work? And I know that's hard, right? Because people always ask that with like signing agents. They always ask that with like general notary work, and it varies between the states. Yeah.
I'll give you a range. Like again, once you get qualified and you're able to do these on your own, I can't dictate your price, but what I will say is you can do them as little as $75 all the way up to $5,000. You know.
Wow. Okay. I don't know if you want to say this, of course, but how much do you say you would make on average per hour?
So I'll give you some recent price quotes of jobs that I've done. I've had I did $140 apostille. I did a $350 one. I have a $220 that's pending to be probably more. I've done a $500 apostille.
$500. Okay.
I have I got another, and then I've had a $40 apostille.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's kind of like same with like general notarizations alongside. The more difficult it is, the more people pay, or the more like convenience you put on it, then sometimes more people pay. So you just like adjust accordingly.
Or the circumstances. Like I said, there's a lot of moving parts that you basically have to do like a mini interview with your client before you even get started.
Okay. You have to do an interview with clients. So it's something that could take a little bit longer. Awesome. Okay. Would you say who would just in general make a good fit to look into apostille work?
Again, someone, if you've ever have experience with real estate wholesaling, perfect fit. Anybody outside of that who's detail oriented and organized.
Okay.
Got to be organized. You can't flying by the seat of your pants will only get you so far, and you're gonna crash and burn real quick.
Gotcha. Okay. So anybody detail oriented, anybody organized would be a good fit.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you're not organized, that business will organize yourself without you even asking. It's gonna do it for you. Once you get into it, you're gonna realize, oh, I can't function doing this, winging it.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, perfect. Thank you for just like putting the feel out, giving those general overview. Like I said, stay tuned to right after this interview ends because there'll be a lot more information, of course, on the training that Shawn will provide for anybody who's looking to get into apostille work. But thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Always good talking to you.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that interview. So as promised, there is more information about a training. So as you know, that was just a 10-minute little snippet overview about what an apostille is, how it works, etc. But Shawn actually hosts a training that goes way more in depth about everything that you need to know about starting to do apostille works, exactly how it works, getting your business started. And so he will be hosting one on October 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And because it's an in-depth, live, hands-on training, there is a cost associated. So it is $140 for that training itself. The link will actually be in the description. But along with that training, he actually will mentor you through your first apostille. So if you go through the training, you're still a little hesitant, I don't know, don't worry, he will be there to mentor you through that first one. So that way you know you have somebody you can reference back to if you have any questions. Now, if you have any general questions about the video, feel free to leave the comment. If you have anything specific about the training you want to ask, hit up Shawn directly because he's going to be your best point of contact for that. I'll leave all his information in the description itself. Please use his email as written out in the description. I get a lot of people who are like, oh, his email doesn't work. It's correct. Just use it as written out in the description. But as always, thank you so much for watching my video. And I hope to see you at the training. I will be there, obviously not teaching it because I don't know, but I will be moderating, if you will. So anyways, hope to see you there, and I will catch you in the next video.
Yeah.